because you always just got to attack it when like defending.
I think it's like
Oh, sorry, people. People deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. Now, as you can see with the scoreline, Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. 3 defeats on the spin, 3 back-to-back defeats. Now, obviously, Southampton, Crystal Palace, and Brighton, 3 bogey teams on the best of days. We're shown why. Where we go from here, I don't know. As I told you, look, when we was winning games, we can finish as high as 4th. We can finish as low as 8th. And if you're United, you're licking your lips. If you're Spurs, it's a sigh of relief after dropping points. As an Arsenal fan, the form in itself and the performances individually and collectively are concerning. But it's the games we've got. You know, you're going against current. I know that they can't win it this year, but you're going against the European champions in Chelsea. You've got Man United who have just won. Depending on what they do on Tuesday against Liverpool, going into Saturday could be something. And the wickedest thing is top 4 isn't exactly dead, but the way you lot are playing gives people that are very pessimistic on the best of days, like myself, much less with the lack of ability, the question marks over the manager's tactics, and now the injuries. It is what it is. It's another game where, yeah, you looked a bit better in the second half and you made more of a meal, but it's another game where you have to go a goal down. We start games well, we don't necessarily finish well. We finish games well, we don't necessarily start well. And it just seems like against Palace, people thought the job was done. Like, we're just going to return from international break and rock up. Brighton, there was no reaction. Today, people thought the first 20 minutes, just because it was like that, was a myth. You know, thought we was going to do stuff. Fraser Forster had a great game, but we didn't put him or that defense who have conceded 6 goals under any real pressure. And as you know, if I'm a bit harsh, take nothing away from his saves, but we're shooting straight at him. Smith Rowe missed kick, 2 efforts from Saka that are on straight into him, really. You'd expect your keeper to save them. Shout out to Fraser Forster. But we never made him, his centre-backs or his full-backs nervous. Southampton had our number. As we know, Arsenal on the best of days cannot break down a low block. Anytime Arteta is trailing at half-time, it's a bit of a myth. We don't really score goals. We've got injuries. Our build-up play is non-existent. So there's some issues. You know, we know Laka's not there. Not that that means anything. I actually feel Lokonga, Eddie, and Tavares, they weren't the worst players on the field. So if you're anyone but them, it's a myth. We're not creating. We're not taking our chances. We're an improved defensive side, but we're not a good defensive side. We're switching off far too much. Like, the goal is atrocious, right on the edge of end of the first half. We've not cleared our lines. It's just terrible goals, man, and it's just bottling. Like, what more can you say? Where do we go from here? Wish I knew, but it's a myth. You know, pardon me. Considering that they should feel not confident, they knew their season was going to turn around. What? That was their 5. They came into this with 5 losses. They played us. It changed. You know, Palace didn't win at home this year. They played us. It changed. Brighton was struggling to win and score goals. And, you know, it changed. And they did us a favor beating Spurs. But you've got to take advantage. And it's a myth now, you know. Again, I think it's a bit of everything. Lack of January's come back to bite us. Over-reliance on certain volatile young players. It's come back to bite us, relying on underperforming experienced players, a lack of a number 8 or really offering much in midfield, so that on the best of days when everyone's fit, we struggle, but without anyone, there's issues. You know, at half-time, we had 4 shots, they had 7. Both had 2 shots on target. They actually had more corners, you know. They had 5 corners, we had 2, so they wanted it a bit more. We should have went there, tried to silence the crowd. We didn't. And we've shown why Southampton, like Brighton and Palace, are our bogey teams. At half-time, you know, I just wanted us to keep working, keep hunger, keep focused. And we did at time look good on the counter. And it did feel we could score 2 goals. But where it came from, I don't know. You know, for large parts of the game, Fraser Forster, was their best player. The ref should have handed out a lot more bookings. But I can only praise Southampton. Tactically, they listened to their gaffer. They managed the game well and took the sting out of Arsenal whenever they could. They fouled. They wasted time. They delayed with subs. Everything that we should be doing. You know, it just seems like certain people think things are achieved here. Certain people don't know how to fight. People can't fight. It's just all wrong, isn't it, really? It's just all wrong. Like, Cedric is taking set. I don't know why. Again, he must be Cristiano Ronaldo in training. But why Cedric is taking set pieces all over the place, I don't know. It's just same old, complacency at the wrong moments, whenever there's pressure, failing, and just a lack of game management. And it's concerning because you can't say that, you know, it's a lack of reaction. You can't say that it's going to change. If you can't react against Palace, Brighton and Southampton, you can forget United, Chelsea, and whoever is after that. You know, what happened to beating the teams we're supposed to beat? Respectfully to all of them, because again, losing is one thing. We all hate to lose, but losing is part of sport. Once again, it's the manner of the defeat. Where we go from here, I don't know. I know that everyone connected to the club is going to come out with working hard and things. The beautiful thing about football is the talking's done on the pitch. So it was just terrible. Shout out to Southampton. You know, it weren't the worst of performances I've seen, but it was because we never really looked like scoring. You know, we're not creating enough. We're waffling about the 2, 3, 4 chances we're creating a game. It's just poor, man. You know, there's nothing more you can say, really and truly. There's really nothing more you can say. You buckled under the pressure, whether you saw results of other teams, whether you want to keep the pace, you know, and all this talk about, you know, top six. I don't know why there was this assurance that top 6 is a foregone conclusion. Because if you play like that, United, West Ham United, and Spurs are all finishing above you. You know, so it's all. Even Wolves are probably breathing down your neck now, even though we've got a healthy points gap on that. So people can waffle about, you know, chances created and all of these things. They've got to correlate to taking opportunities. You know, top 4 has really come down to who stinks up the place the least. That's why people are fighting for top 4, because they're inconsistent. You play like this, bro, even playing in the conference leagues is crazy. You know, we don't know how we're going to put the ball into the back of people's nets on the best of days. We don't know how we're going to when people are injured. We signed up for performances like this when we made the decisions we made in January and had no contingency plan, when we over-relied on certain players. You know, we see this all the time, you know, relying on it. A lot of players never turned up today as well. You know, the more experienced players didn't. You know, I can't lie, Saka, Martinelli didn't have the best of games. But then again, where was Granit Xhaka? You know, where was Ben White? Was poor today. My guy Cedric, atrocious. But again, it's not a scapegoating team. We all weren't good enough because we didn't win. And like I said, this is it's surprising, but I can't say, you know, that is better. And then I know I'm going to listen to the gaffer's comments, and he's going to sound very deluded, man. You know, if I'm going to pardon the pun, you know, even looking at some of Arteta's comments, I can't remember a game that Arsenal have played in the stadium where they've created and dominated the game more and better. We had a bunch of possession, but as you know, possession is 9/10 of the law. It's what you do with it. We're not trying to harm them. There was even a couple of counters in the second half. Southampton could have added to it. The less said, the better, innit? It just was appalling across every aspect. So the less said, the better. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. So on that note, people, as I said, congratulations to Southampton, commiserations to Arsenal. Just prepare for a week from hell, and you know all that. There's nothing to say. It was poor, innit? So let me just keep it moving.
There's always just that active defending.
I think it's like